Home of the Milwaukee Brewers, hosting such stars as Ben Sheets and Lyle Overbay. Today, hosting PBA Tour styles. Most straitjackets complete in their outfits. Our house band doing a great job for us here this afternoon in Milwaukee, the nationally known recording artists. Don't forget, Monday night on Monday Night Countdown, presented by UPS, 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 on the West Coast. They will get you ready for the big Monday Night Football game. Stuart Scott teams up with analysts Tom Jackson, Mike Liver, Ron Jaworski, all leading into the Dolphins and Jets on ABC. The Jets won at Miami earlier this year. Jets coming off their first loss to the New England Patriots, continuing their incredible streak. Dolphins coming off their first win. Big game coming your way. Another High Life Masters presented by the ABC. It's Allen and Wiseman. Head-to-head, $100,000. A two-year trial, two-year exempt tour as well on the line. Now let's talk about the PBA Tour Trials just this past summer. After a nerve-wracking PBA season filled 50 spots, on this year's exempt tour, 9 positions remain. 117 bowlers arrived at Stardust Bowl in Maryville, Indiana back in June for the first ever PBA Tour Trials.
And with this week being so instrumental and life-changing, you can't describe it. It's just a very difficult situation to be in and intense.
I told a couple of my friends at home it's the first time in my bowling career that I've ever actually been nervous about bowling a bowling tournament.
The competitors included PWBA champions Kelly Kulick and Kendra Gaines, who are trying to become the first women to qualify for a PBA Tour card, and a large international contingent as bowlers from 7 countries were there as well. PBA titleist Mike Edwards made things easy on himself, taking an early lead on the field and never looking back. He led from day one of the competition and regained his PBA status with a convincing finish.
These 5 days were just like magic for me. That's the best I've ever bowled in my entire life. For 5 days straight, that was just absolute career round. So.
Tour members Shannon Buchan, Patrick Gerard, Ryan Kretzer, and Mike Wolf enter the final day in good shape, and none faltered. They were able to breathe a sigh of relief, while around them the pressure mounted. The 45th and final game saw 5 bowlers competing for the final 4 spots. Eugene McCune had plenty of support.
I was shaking. I was just thinking about, how hard he worked all week, and it'd be a shame if, one ball cost him.
McCune persevered and struck in the 10th to lock himself in. That left 4 men in thrilling battle for the last 3 spots. Richie Allen struggled, while Bill Rowe, Jim Pratt, and Dave Traber were up to the challenge. When Traber struck out in the 10th to throw a 290, he was back on tour for a 22nd season. The enormity of the event was not lost on anyone.
The 10th frame was the most unbelievable thing I've ever witnessed. I mean, been a part of. That after 45 games that there were that many guys that had shot at it was just incredible.
Among the veterans and titleists who did not qualify, the disappointment was obvious.
There's only one emotion right now. I mean, I'm demoted. Yes, I'm upset I don't have a job, but the flip side of that is I absolutely do love what I do and would do it again in a minute. Absolutely in a minute.
For the 9 members of the PBA Tour Trials class, though, there was relief, elation, and anticipation for the upcoming season.
And certainly the exemptions in the Tour Trials, exciting developments on the PBA Tour. And I'm joined now by the commissioner of the PBA, Fred Schreier, and Tom Baker, who is benefiting greatly from the exemption status. We'll talk about that in just a second. But Fred, what is the direction now that the PBA will be taking in the future?
Well, we're really excited about moving to the limited field exempt tour this year. It gives our players a platform from which to really excel. We can build rivalries, get our fans familiar with our players, and get them on week after week, which is what it's about.
And Tom, you have a chance to be on week after week. You won the World Championship last year, got a 5-year tour exemption. How has that changed your life and your career?
Well, let me tell you, the week before I was calling my friends and I'm wondering if you have any job openings. And since then, I got the 5-year tour exemption, and now I can kind of go out on my own terms and go out and just have some fun out there.
All right, well, we look forward to seeing you on tour. How about your thoughts on our championship matchup today?
It's going to be an exciting final. I think Patrick's locked in, but I think Danny Wiseman, I think he has a good ball reaction out there. I think he's going to be awful tough, too. So
All right.
Should be exciting.
Tom, Fred, thank you very much for joining us. Let's go back to Dave.
Beth, thank you, and thanks to the commissioner and Tom Baker. What a moment it was for him last March. Danny Wiseman hoping for a great moment himself. Bids for his first major championship next. The American Bowling Congress. And we are getting set for a championship match. Danny Wiseman, Patrick Allen going head-to-head. Don't forget next week, suburban Chicago. ESPN's coverage of the PBA Tour continues. Top bowlers on tour. Trying to roll strikes in the lane at the Chicago Open, 1 o'clock Eastern time. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Incredible atmosphere here as the capacity crowd is ready. But first, Randy, let's look at the Geico Direct Championship recap.
Earlier in match one, it was Patrick Allen defeating Brian Bogosian by the score of 238 to 153. PBA opened with a four-bagger and never looked back. Then in match number two, it was Patrick Allen defeating Patrick Healy Jr. by the score of 248 to 219. PBA took huge advantage of a Brooklyn that helped him to win. Setting up a great championship match for the Miller High Life Masters title between PA and Danny Wiseman.
Last year, Randy, in the PBA Tour event, Philadelphia, 200 to 178 final. When these two went head-to-head, Patrick Allen lefty got a victory over Danny Wiseman. But now, a much different setting. So much on the line. The lefty versus righty. Different matchup. Who does it favor right now?
Well, you know, watching Danny for the last couple of days in this tournament, I didn't think there was anybody that could beat him coming into today. But after watching Patrick Allen in the first two matches, I think Patrick Allen's going to give Danny all he wants.
Let's get the thoughts of our two finalists here in the big event, the ABC Masters, with Beth Mullins, laneside.
All right, thank you very much, Dave. Well, Patrick Allen, do you feel like over the course of the first two matches you've been able to gain some momentum that you can carry into the final with you?
Well, Danny bowled great the whole week. You know, he bowled so much better than I did, you know, and I'm just fortunate to be here, and he looks good, so I'm going to have to keep bowling well and try and see what happens.
Thank you very much, Patrick. And Danny, what was the most difficult part for you having to watch and wait your turn here for the bowl?
Just basically seeing what's going on with the lanes. I mean, it's a whole different environment. It's awesome. I mean, the fans, everybody coming. Thank you for coming out. I just, you know, just making a decision and just go with it. That's basically it. Thanks, Patrick. I always look good, brother.
All right, thank you very much, Danny. Dave, back up to you.
Beth, he's always confident. He is always a showman. Patrick Allen will get things going. They are playing for that trophy along with a $100,000 first place prize, the 2-year PBA Tour exemption. As Beth talked about with Danny, he's had to sit and wait out of the bullpen for a while, warming up.
Really, right now, though, the only thing that matters for Danny Wiseman is what type of ball reaction did he find during warm-ups.
6-pin for PA stands.
And almost a big, ugly split. Right now, today, things going PA's way. Key Brooklyn to take care of Pat Healy Jr. right now, tripping the split out to avoid the open frame if he were to convert, which he should do quite easily. Straight and firm with a plastic ball at the 6-pin.
Laying level look at it from our great crew here in Milwaukee. And a good start for Patrick Allen. Gets his mark. Now it's Danny Wiseman from just outside Baltimore, who has 10 titles. A new look, Danny Wiseman. Dedicated himself to fitness. Has a personal trainer. Starting in June, worked out 5 times a week. Something he'd never done before. His tournament starts now. In the final and in style. All right, Bader, real deal matchup. Randy, how do these two stack up?
Well, the theme remains the same, Dave. It's the average factor, but it hasn't seemed to bother Patrick Allen at all today. Although with that first shot that Danny Wiseman just threw, this is going to be one of the most exciting matches you will ever see. Take a look at Danny Wiseman's index finger. He used to spread that index finger, which would help him to rotate around the bowling ball. He can no longer on the